4, 3, 2, 1.
What is going on, BW Sports One Nation? You know it is time for some black and white sports. I like the introduction. Damon looks like he's loving it, feeling the vibes, brother. What's happening?
Oh, my bad. I got a little carried away there. You know what I mean? I was in my groove. That's like 2 great new intros in a row. I need to see the rest of them. Dude, you have a calling. You have a calling.
Hey. Well, speaking of the rest of them, we're going to witness another new one tomorrow night real quick. Quantum Inspirations with Monica P. coming out 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow, Thursday night. I can't wait. You'll see another intro. And then Saturday, you're going to see another intro. And Sunday, the new Checkers and Wreckers intro will be placed.
Oh, that'd be great. Who did that when you were our Tommy?
I haven't finished it yet.
Oh, so the answer is you.
Yes. Yes. And, Bet Your Ass with Rafael Esparza had a new intro the other night, too. So
yes.
I
saw that one already.
Yep. We were revamping, reconstructing for all of you folks for a better platform to give you. And I cannot wait to let the world know of things that we got working in 2021.
Yeah, it should be a really, really, really fun year.
Yes.
I'm excited. I hope you're excited. I hope the people are excited. People get excited. I don't know what else to say. Just get excited.
All I'm going to say is I hope Miami's ready.
Yeah.
I'll keep throwing it out there, and we're not going to tell the world yet, but we're going to
They have
Miami.
never experienced anything like this trio. Ever in the theme of super kicking it with Steven, ever seen a trio like this before? Did you catch that Jericho there?
I don't know if I like Jericho enough to even like that impersonation. Just saying. Met the guy once. He seemed like an ass. I get it. I wasn't asked for an interview. I'll be honest with you. Wasn't asked for an interview, a picture, an autograph, anything. Just kicking it with him on the curb, waiting for the limo to pick him up when I was working downtown. That I called for him. Thought we was just chilling. But, he could have had a bad day. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, it is Chris Jericho. He's the most unelectrifying person in all of sports entertainment.
Oh, boy. Well, everybody, again, Happy New Year. This is the first Wednesday night back from the New Year. So 2021's kicking it off. Yes, we are going back to the roots of the flagship show. This is Black and White Sports Live, baby.
Football edition.
Football. Not to kick the ball football. The American football.
So that asked me a serious question.
Yes, sir.
So that means I'm gonna have to change my ball every show.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Because I do have a football. I do own a football. Yes, I own a football. One, because the youngest is a football player, unlike the older two. So I have to get my no. Stop it. We want him to be a winner.
Well, that's true. That's true.
And we definitely don't want him, and we definitely don't want no OSU talk.
Yeah, no. But you take that scholarship just like I would if it came to him. I didn't say you had to wear the Buckeyes logo, but you might at that point start to own a couple crimson, or what are they? Scarlet? They're scarlet. Yeah, you might own a couple scarlet shirts at that time.
Hey, no. If it did happen, they'd be gray or white. I do. At
Just
no
don't do
point.
red.
Hey, I just don't do red, man.
That's
The only time I wore red and didn't have a problem with it was high school because I played at LN.
I've seen pictures. I know
so it
I've
was
seen pictures.
so it's Christmas all year round. So that's how I justified that. But yeah,
all right.
woo.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Damon, we have a lot of football talk to get into and discuss. There's been a lot of things going on since the end of Sunday night's regular season. Black Monday came, and a lot of movements, a lot of talks and discussions have been going on. Where do you want to start?
Well, the fact I want to start is why does everything have to be black? Only good thing with black in it, other than us and black people. I'm going to say Black Friday. That is the only time that black and good are together. You know what I mean?
No, not true. Not true.
What's good about Black Monday? Nothing.
You look at it in a positive way. I'm learning from Monica P, Damon.
Okay.
Look at it in a positive way.
All right.
It may be called Black Monday because people are looking at it as the firing of people on the coaching staff and whatnot. But I'm going to be positive and look at it as the reconfiguration of somebody's career in a different atmosphere, in a different city.
That kind of sounds like we were in an entanglement.
A little bit. Maybe a little bit. Oh, boy. But you know what? First, before we get to NFL. I know,
there you go.
Yeah, I know. I seen the look. Now I'm getting back to the notes. Before we get into the NFL, let's talk a little bit college football here. Obviously, the playoffs have been set.
Sorry to cut you off, but before we talk about college, my bookie Man Cave headlines and our Man Cave headlines is brought to you by Bookie.
Yes.
50% deposit match up to $1,000 and a free $2 bet at mybookie.ag.
I will get this one of these days.
But these are
I know they're right in front of me, too. They're right in front of me. Literally, right in front of me. It's like a teleprompter right in front of me. Ding, 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 ding. Dan, read me.
Now continue with the college.
All right, so let's start off by saying IU, best football team in Indiana. I'm going to hold you up on that one because this was your part of that note. I'm going to almost lean, and I'm not taking anything away from IU. Great team. They got a heck of a thing going on down there for years, hopefully to come. Don't forget Ball State, man. Don't forget about Ball State. Because you thought I was going to go say something about Notre Dame, but no, sir.
And you know what? This is the great thing about our notes and my ridiculousness to add this note 4 different times to the notes. Because it was supposed to read Ball State, best football team in Indiana.
Oh.
It was not supposed to be IU.
Oh.
It was 100 supposed to be Ball State the whole time.
All right.
Because they won their conference.
They did.
They lost one game, or did they go undefeated?
They may have lost one game.
Yeah, I know they won their conference, won their bowl game. So, hey.
It wasn't really close either.
No. I watched a little bit of it.
Yeah, they dominated that game.
My son goes to Ball State, but who watched the football game? Not him.
Hey, man, he's got some good things going. He's been a little bit busy with the esports team up there. We'll go with it. Just roll with it.
I'm going to roll with it.
Yeah, so we do agree as Ball State is, quote-unquote, the best football team in the state of Indiana. Now, going back to what you actually printed on the notes that, yes, I did actually read on the teleprompter in front of me, you put IU. And I see exactly why somebody would put IU as the best team in Indiana, best football team in Indiana college-wise. They did tremendous this year. Now, the problem is, and we've talked about this before, they only really played one big game. Penn State was big until we saw what Penn State was about this year. Michigan State was big until we knew what Michigan State was about this year. Ohio State,
you missed one.
Michigan we obviously saw was nothing this year. In football.
It was practice.
It was very much so practice. But and Purdue, unfortunately, is just, I don't know what's going on there. I hope they can get it together up there just for the Big Ten and, the state of Indiana, obviously, in football. But
for Jordan Tyree, I want Purdue football to be good, man.
Yeah. Good. He's a heck of a follower of ours.
He's struggling, man.
Yeah. We feel for you, man. We feel for you. But granted, hey, hats off to IU as well. But my hat tips, as well as yours does, sir, to the Ball State Cardinals, just in about an hour away from us.
So, are they the Cardinals, or like Stanford? Or are they the Cardinal?
No, Stanford's a tree,
but it's still the Cardinal.
Right?
Is it a cardinal tree?
Yes.
So a tree. I didn't know a cardinal. I knew their mascot was a tree. Yeah, yep. A tree, folks.
So that is a tree.
It's intimidating. It gets chopped down.
Yes, it's a cardinal. Okay. Stanford's been chopped since Andrew Luck left. But yes, Ball State is the Cardinals.
Okay. Right. Just want to get it together.
Message.
Just wanted to inform the world. You know what I mean? Give you a little bit of insight.
There you go, Damon.
Yes.
We saw Notre Dame struggle tremendously against Clemson.
Struggle wasn't.
I'm
really
sorry, Alabama.
Word.
We saw them struggle really bad against Clemson, and then we saw them struggle really bad against Alabama.
Mm-mm.
My thing is really quick, and I'm not getting into this that much because there's a ton of NFL news that we got to get to. But Notre Dame still cannot compete with the top 3 or 4 teams in this nation. They need speed. That's what's killing them. Every game that they have issues with is speed.
All right. Well, I'm going to say this. One, I'm going to correct you. You struggled against Clemson. I don't know what the hell that was against Alabama. But, it was expected. You know what I mean? The last 2 matchups with Alabama didn't come out fair as well as anyway. But I'm not going to jump on the downing of Notre Dame football
I will.
right now. I'm actually going to flip the script and sing Notre Dame's football's praises because I was actually listening to the coach that you don't really like very much, but he kind of stirred me a little bit for Notre Dame football, as in, regardless of however you look at it, regardless of the ass whoopings or the 0-7 and the New Year's 6-day games or BCS bowl game or championship bowl games, they have been there. They have been there. He is starting to get his recruits up. You're getting very talented players. You're getting people that are getting drafted in the first round or being very successful in the next level. Chase Claypool or, those type of things. And I like how he put it. Regardless of however you look at these losses right now, guess who's there? Notre Dame's there. And he said, and expect us to continue to get there. And we'll get there until we figure it out. That's the type of coach you want. I'm sorry. I know you don't like him, but that's the type of coach you want. And you can see that his kids are extremely following him in that same pattern. You know what I mean? This group, we might not win it, but we got there. To only say the lay the pattern down for the next group. Eventually, he's gonna get over the hump if they keep him or if they stick with the program or whatever. But if you have to look at it, look between the 2 programs, Notre Dame and Michigan. Which one's trending up and which one's trending down?
Well, obviously, I can say Notre Dame's trending upward. Michigan's trending towards basketball, being a basketball school fully time.
Oh,
but I'm saying facts. But I guess what I'm thinking is maybe instead of playing some of the quote-unquote PUD teams that you play throughout the regular season, why don't you get some of those, like an SEC team or an ACC? And obviously this year we played nothing but ACC teams. But get the bigger football schools against you to test you during the regular season, to have you ready. Because if you belong there in the top 4 in the playoffs, that's great. I want to see Notre Dame in there all the time, obviously, because I'm a fan. But I don't want to continue seeing them get their ass reamed against everybody that they play in the playoffs, because it seems like they're not quite ready for that type of competition for some reason. I can't answer why.
I can.
Why?
It's the same issue that Michigan has. Integrity.
Well,
integrity. I mean, it's more about these development of these young men to succeed in the after career than other universities, say OSU. You know what I mean? Those kids don't. I mean, you look at their careers after football from that university. If it doesn't do with football, these guys don't really do nothing unless you're planning to be a coach or planning to be a gym teacher. Don't really want to knock gym teachers, but you get the point that I'm trying to make.
Right.
There's standards at Notre Dame and at Michigan. We don't just let anybody in. You know what I mean? So recruiting is key. And it's hard to recruit to these type of environments. Notre Dame is in northern Indiana. It is cold, bruh. You get recruited. Both of these schools on the same level with historic value. You get recruited by this one, you get recruited by this one. 40 degrees, 90 degrees.
Right. And when in the winter, it's still up in the 60s. I totally understand that part. However, I think honestly, it's not necessarily all Brian Kelly. I'm going to put a lot of the blame on the AD, the athletic director of Notre Dame, Swarbrick, I think is Jack Swarbrick, because he cut a lot of games out. I mean, you don't play Purdue anymore. You don't play Michigan anymore. You barely play any of these Big Ten teams that's been rivals. Okay, now, granted, this year was different because you played in the ACC, but you don't play any of the – I mean, you play Navy and Southern Cal, and that's like the only two teams that you always play. Well, you got a Stanford in there because one's got to go – you got to get your West Coast recruitment in. I don't want to necessarily go up. When I'm asked to go to a Notre Dame game, I'm hoping I'm asked in September instead of November, because I know what November weather in South Bend can be like, and it sucks. But, again, Notre Dame football. They go hand in hand. Something needs to be done in the recruiting part. Somewhere – I mean, yes, you talk to these kids, and a lot of them, yes, they want to stay at the beach. They want to go here. They want to go here. But you got to talk up your game more. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, you can talk up your game at all you want, but if these kids can't get past the curriculum standards.
And that's a big thing.
that's what I was talking about standards. If they can't get past, there's a difference in being, you to get in, you need a 3.8 and higher. Then versus a 2.5.
If that.
So, all right, that's enough of bashing the low curriculum standards at one school in Ohio. Yeah, I said it. Give a damn.
Yeah, he's a little bit biased, folks. Let's move.
We got presidents, baby.
Yeah. Well, let's move to the team that you despise. Ohio State. The Ohio State University is going up against the Crimson Tide of Alabama for the 2021 national title. What do you think?
Well, first off, I think they're ridiculous. Who tries to trademark a word that is, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. That's what I'm talking about. 3.8 and higher and 2.5. You feel me? But anyway, wow, what an ass whooping did they put on Clemson.
I was not expecting it to be that controlled, but it's funny. I did tell somebody, I said, you better, if you're going to bet, put your money on Ohio State.
Well, I said at the beginning of the year, before all the nonsense, that I thought that was the best football team in the country.
You did. You did. I heard you.
Until I saw Alabama again.
And then we were all reminded of how Nick Saban and the Crimson Tide roll.
Yes. So, hey, man, that's a good football team. I don't think we got to see a lot of it because of certain situations. The Big Ten had a lot to do with that. I just thought that we didn't really get to see the full complexity of how good they are. I don't think because of not many games. We still are in agreement on that one that, but whatever. But the shellacking they put, I mean, you cannot say that, wow,
Yeah, I mean, like I said in the notes, it's like, okay, I'll stop complaining a little bit because of the lesser amount of games they played, but whew, I mean, you stand behind what they showed on the field, and they put a whooping on the Clemson Tigers.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna jump on board. I'm not going to back down from your comments on it because of the story that I posted earlier today on the website or on the Facebook page. Like, why would they think that they should be granted any type of extra favoritism, extra, you know what I'm saying, extra free passes because you have an outbreak in your school locker room? I mean, in your clubhouse or whatever the hell, your locker room, whatever you want to call it. Haven't y'all gotten enough extras? You know what I mean? You really only played 4 games.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And
I'm
but
not
here,
agreeing with that.
So why are we even entertaining this? And I'm glad that the NCAA said, no, we're not changing the date. It's still on as play in the schedule. You have to deal with it.
Did you see that? The NCAA's balls just finally dropped.
Well, my bad.
Finally.
My bad. They keep saying the NCAA. I'm sorry.
That's the CFB.
Yes.
FBS, yes.
Yes.
The playoff committee.
Those guys. Those guys said no.
I'm not going to say that they shouldn't. I've stuck by this the whole time. They shouldn't be where they are because of the amount of games they played because they missed them. However, after watching their play on the field, it's like, yeah, okay. Now let's see how you can really do against the powerhouse of Alabama. I say Alabama wins this game by 16.
At least.
I don't see it being as close as what people think.
That is a different animal over there. I understand it. Ryan Day, he's a great coach, man. He's really, and that's really pains me to say this. That's let you know that I'm real about this sports conversation, that I, a Michigan fan, will give them their but I'm telling you, as soon as these cameras go off,
we already know that you despise them. Even worse, Notre Dame fans such as myself despise Michigan because they are your Southern Cal.
Oh my God, they're terrible. But anyway, but they're good. But this Alabama team or this Alabama program is a different animal. And they got a 3-headed monster: a quarterback, a running back, a receiver, all who could have won the Heisman, but one did.
Right? Yeah, I mean, Alabama's winning this game, folks. If I was putting money on it, you bet your ass I'd be betting Alabama. I think the spread was 9.5. That the opening spread was 9.5. I could be wrong I'm sorry, 8 points. I don't know that the odds makers like Raphael obviously know a little bit more than we do. I'm still saying Alabama takes that whooping on them and just takes them out.
Everybody's still leaning on this Clemson debacle. Clemson wasn't as good as they were supposed to be, or what they should have been, or so to speak. But I don't want to diminish Notre Dame's win either. I mean, earlier win, but I don't want to diminish OSU's win either because they spanked them all over the field.
They did.
Gave them a spot too, a 14-point spot.
Yeah, they did. Hey, but I'm just glad that I hit they covered. Notre Dame paid me a little bit of money last weekend, so that's what I can be happy about. Before we hit the NFL, let's hit them with a little bit of pump you up. You see this? Look at that. Look at that, man. I'm losing the gut. I'm gaining the muscles back. And you know where I get it from? Elite Performance.
Hey.
Oh, yeah.
Let everybody know where to find you and how to get in contact with you.
That's a good one. So you guys can give us a call here, 765-499-1005, or you can email us, eliteptbyzd@gmail.com. So you got both by phone and by email, or if you want the address here at the studio, it's 7430 Little Oak Lane, Indianapolis, Indiana here, 46259.
I love watching that ending every time. And Damon, I apologize. You were starting to say something, and I hit the button.
And laughed at me while he did it. No, I need one of those hats, man.
What hats?
One of those Elite Performance hats that you was rocking.
You know, I don't have an elite hat.
Oh, okay.
Not yet, but I've been talking to him.
Yeah,
I don't have an elite hat.
No, then I must be looking at something else. I feel like I'm being played.
What hat were you? No, now you got me intrigued on what hat I've been wearing.
I don't either.
Now, okay. Oh, jeez. I'm lost, folks.
Yeah.
It doesn't take much to get me lost right now when it comes to that guy.
No. All right, moving on.
Yes. Now we're in the big leagues. And as we talked, Black Monday, for some, is negative. However, I look at the positive side. Like I said, Monica P, Quantum Inspirations, getting me positive, folks. Getting me positive. She'll get you positive, too. I'm saying that a lot of people are maybe looking before they fired, even looking for different places and environments to move to. The one that I do not agree with at all, 100% disagree with, Damon, is a little bit down on the notes, and it has to do with Anthony Lynn of the LA Chargers. I do not agree with that let go one bit. What are your thoughts?
Tell us why. Well, I don't really particularly have a say either or, other than, you know, I hate to see a black coach lose a job in a struggling market for black coaches. But other than that, I mean, he's had couple losing seasons.
He's only been there, 2 years?
2 or 3, right? Well, I thought it was 4. I thought he'd been there like 4 years.
Maybe. Now you got me wondering, but I'm still saying that's the worst. Yeah. That's still the worst firing on this past Monday in the NFL.
That I can agree with. I mean, yeah, I wasn't surprised.
Look at what they did this year.
Yeah, I wasn't surprised by it, but I wasn't looking for it. Does that make sense?
Yes. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I was a bit surprised that they actually did do that to him, because, you know, this year has been obviously the COVID hit, you know, and people, they didn't have an off season. They didn't have much training. There was no preseason. There was very little training to get ready and prepare for this season. However, Justin Herbert is a hell of a quarterback in there. Now, we also did see an issue with the training in the injection of cortisone, or whatever they give him now, to what's his name?
Tyrod Taylor.
You know, and that caused the quote unquote changing of the guard at quarterback. Now, granted, you know, he did have a losing season, but I would take into effect that you're 7-9 this year, and you got the Chiefs in your division. You got the Raiders in your division, which the Raiders did obviously kind of let down this year compared to where their status was planning on being this year. But that could change. I just don't agree with letting Lynn go, because I'd have gave him at least one more year. All right, Herbert's now the quarterback. Now let's see what we can do. I'd have gave him at least 1 year.
At least 1 year. I mean, I'm not agreeing with the firing by any means,
right?
But I'm not disagreeing either. but I will say I lean more to the disagree if I had to bet my ass on it.
There you go. There you go. The play of words is strong tonight. Now, on the flip side of that, the biggest quote unquote shocker, not really, of firing of a coach is Adam Gase of the New York Jets. How this man kept his job so damn long this year is way beyond me. I'm very surprised that they waited this long to do it, but it was definitely an inevitable thing.
I think they waited this long because why not? What was the point? Why go hire? I mean, why fire him why fire him in the middle of the season where, I mean, at least you have some type of structure, some type of normalcy to get through the season. I've never been a fan of firing coaches in the middle of the season, especially in college, but coaches, period, but especially in college. But what would they go do? You know, fire him to do what? You're not going to bring in a new head coach in the middle of the season.
Mm-mm.
I mean, and 9 times out of 10, okay, 7.5 times out of 10, the interim coach doesn't get the job either.
At that point over there in New York, that he may have.
So at that point, what's the point? I mean, he knew he was going to be gone at the end of the year. The players knew he was going to be gone at the end of the year. The organization knew he was going to be gone at the end of the year. You know what I mean? Hey, to make a little money. Hey, stack your money up. Put your resumes out the right places. And, hey, let's move on actively.
Well, as many openings at head coaching around the league as there is, I
He
don't
shouldn't get any.
No, he still should not get any. Maybe a coordinator spot or something like that. But Adam Gase should not be hired as a head coach this coming season at all. Give him time to refocus and regroup.
There's a lot of mid-major Division I schools that are available for coaching. A couple high schools are probably open.
And you know what? He may take that route and head down to college at least.
Because head coach in the NFL is not working. And obviously coordinator position is not working because he could call offensive plays or defensive plays. So that puts him down at a position coach. And you're not going to go from head coach to position coach. So you're going to college or high school.
Well, you know, honestly, like you said, there are a lot of openings in D1 football, so maybe that is his calling. And we've talked about it before. Some college coaches should remain in college, and they just don't fit in the NFL, and vice versa. I mean, I'm going to kind of take a shot at your team again. I personally think that Jim Harbaugh is a better NFL coach than he is a college coach. I do not know why the extension has been put on his table, but he is, from what I hear, looking and searching and seeking for the NFL before he signs that contract with Michigan. I find it was an interesting thing for him to be coming back to his alma mater and coaching, but he is no Juwan Howard.
Juwan, I don't want to talk bad about J1, but it's only his second year. He hasn't gotten through any adversity.
Ooh.
Yeah. Oh, you like that?
I did. He used the word he hates.
Yes, I did. I did it on purpose because
I know
these idiots said it like 1,000 times on TV today. But anyway,
and they use it way too often for zero meaning.
Jim's going to sign it. Because if he was going to the NFL, they wouldn't have offered it. If he had legitimate, entertaining ideas from teams, it would never been offered. That's how I feel. Because if we look at even on your little list here of people who are asking for interviews and people who are being interviewed, only people talk about Jim Harbaugh's name in coaching circles is the people on TV. Mm-hmm. Nobody, general managers, anybody like that, I'm hearing are talking about bringing Jim Harbaugh back. So that's why the offer is on the table. One, Michigan, who else are you going to go get?
I mean, it's pretty wide open right now, though.
And then, but you know, being Michigan, who are you going to go get? You know what I'm saying? That's a whole different animal that you have to control there. So I think he stays there. I think he stays there for a minute. You know what I mean? I just don't see the line because of the bridges that were burned out of San Francisco.
Mhm.
I don't see a whole lot of people lining up to come get Jim Harbaugh.
But do you agree with me that I think, like I said, I think he's a better head coach in the NFL than he is in college.
Oh, he's definitely a better head coach in the NFL than he is in college. But being who we are and who we know, I need him to stay there as long as he chooses.
We wonder why.
Man, I need them perks, bro. Need them perks. You know what I mean? I was expected to be on the field this year, but the COVID hit. So
Next season.
next season.
Full-blown credentials for BW Sports 1. No, I have no clue. I'm just throwing that out there.
That would be fun,
Wink,
but
yeah.
but this is all go blue, buddy.
Yeah, maybe we'll just have to head up there in 12 more years when Notre Dame finally plays again and does something. But back to the Jets. Yeah, the Jets. They've requested permission to interview Rams defensive coordinator Brandon Staley for their head coaching job. Obviously, they can't talk to him until after the Rams fall out of the playoffs, which potentially could be Saturday. Who knows? We'll talk about that here in a little bit, but they obviously can't talk to him. Moving down to Detroit, a sister, I'd like to say not a sister, a neighbor to your Michigan Wolverines and Detroit Lions, outwent Matt Patricia midseason. Lions president Rod Wood said his team is interviewing Darrell Bevel. This was yesterday, Tuesday. Yes, they were wanting to interview him, and they're also wanting to talk to Chiefs offensive coordinator Eric Bieniemy and Marvin Lewis. Now, I don't see Marvin Lewis, unfortunately, getting really back into a head coaching job yet. He had a heck of a run. I mean, way long run in Cincinnati, and I think he overstayed his welcome there. But you never know. I think honestly, in looking at this across the board, Bieniemy is one of the, I'd say, a high prospect in coaching position, in the head coach position.
Bieniemy should be the number one guy on everybody's target list.
Yes.
I mean, if you get an interview with him, you better give him the lobster lined in gold or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have to offer him a whole hell of a lot to get him away from that juggernaut of a franchise, which is Kansas City. Because you don't even know what the deal is between Kansas City, Eric Bieniemy, and Andy Reid.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? If Kansas City does pull it off and win back-to-back, I mean, who's to say? I mean, but they have a very good shot that they will.
They do.
But who's to say that Andy Reid doesn't at that point say, I'm done? You know what I mean? You got this guy already sitting here waiting to go. Good relationship with the quarterback. Good relationship with the organization. Mm-hmm. Me, if I was Eric Bieniemy, I would stay with Patrick Mahomes as long as I possibly can.
So you're gonna tell him to play the Josh McDaniel role and just bide your time because this is gonna be your team here soon.
Well, the Josh McDaniel role worked only if Tom Brady was still there.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But Patrick Mahomes is young. You're young. Andy Reid is old.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and again, I respect him. I didn't want to, when we play him, I didn't want to lose to him, but I respect Andy Reid for finally getting the Super Bowl that he well deserves.
Yeah, so that's what I would say when it comes to him. I mean, there's a lot of talented offensive and defensive coordinators out there that deserve shots. My only thing is I hope that these organizations go through the proper hiring process. That's it. Mm-hmm. I can care less who you hire. Just go through the process.
And I would agree with that. Now, let's talk about going through the process here. In a cluster of a team and organization, as we've seen over the past year, in the Houston Texans. Excuse me. Bill O'Brien is sitting as GM and head coach. They go 0-4. He's done. Who do they bring in to talk to? The only team, get this, Damon, Houston, the only team that does not ask permission to talk to Eric Bieniemy to take a head coaching position. They're the only team that said nothing to him. And like you said earlier, he should be number one on everybody's list. Again, we're talking about the cluster in Houston. They've talked to Trent Kirchner for the GM role. They talked to Omar Khan as the GM role. And they finally talked to Nick Caserio, and they've brought him in. It is made official that Nick Caserio will be the GM for the Houston Texans. They tried to get him in 2019. It didn't work out. Now they got him 2 years later. What do you say about the Houston Texans?
I don't say anything about the Houston Texans.
Oh,
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess if they don't have to, look at Eric Bieniemy if they don't want to. I mean, that's fine. That's fine. They're dead to you, but you have to at least explore the option. You might not feel that you are getting, like in college recruiting. I mean, Ball State might not feel that they'll get this talented kid, but they still offer him the scholarship anyway. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I feel when it comes with Houston on the Eric Bieniemy type deal. But I mean, you got to one hand 100% look at the organization at the top, the owners. They let O'Brien have all that control, and now they have no way of fixing that control, and they're trying to manage it piece by piece. And it's going to be interesting how they do it. So you're going to have to ensure Deshaun Watson that you're going to be doing things to help secure his future, like not trading away your Pro Bowl franchise receiver.
Wow. I feel bad for Deshaun Watson. I feel bad for J.J. Watt because I saw it. Did you see this interview with him when he's literally saying, it's like, man, we come out and play, but some of these guys feel like they just come in and get a paycheck. I feel for him. It's unfortunate that your teammate has to step up and say something like that. And for him to walk off the field with Deshaun Watson at the last game of the season, Deshaun comes up to him, gives him the good old football butt smack. And J.J. Watt looks at him and literally apologizes because he says, we should win 11 games this year. I'm sorry, man. And that's how Houston is right now. It's unfortunate that they have some great talented pieces but can do nothing to support them.
Yeah, I'm 100% with J.J. Watt on that. You shouldn't have to have a press conference where you're telling guys or telling the press that you're telling guys in the locker room, or you have to send through the press to guys in the locker room that we owe it to the fans to come out here and give it our all every game, regardless of what our record is. Regardless of what our record is, we need to come out here and give our supporters everything that we got. And if you don't feel that way, then you should not be here. So I expect a whole lot of changes in Houston. Mm-hmm. I do. Led by the leadership of Deshaun Watson and J.J. Watt.
And J.J. Watt's he's not getting young. I mean, he's pushing his years in the NFL, honestly. Deshaun obviously has plenty of years left as long as they allow him to live behind the line. So that would probably be my first thought if I'm Texans. We got to do something about protecting him and getting him some pieces to use on that field because we just threw away the best piece he had.
And you see what he did with nothing. So give him something and see what he can do.
Exactly. Well, we'll
You know what
see.
I mean?
Bill O'Brien
And-
doesn't have the reins anymore, so we'll see what happens.
And I wouldn't wish that debacle on anybody that said, hey, that's somebody Dallas should be looking at. But I wouldn't wish that hell on anybody. Sorry, Dak's got to go through it. I don't need nobody else to do it.
Oh, I'm gonna hold on. You said Dak. I'm gonna bring him up in just a second. Talking about another team. So moving on from Houston, real quick. Jacksonville let Doug Marrone go. That was apparent and obvious. A lot of talks and speculations, Damon. As we mentioned, the great old Urban Meyer talk. He did go down and talk to Jacksonville. He's got some high necessities to become a football coach again.
$12 million a year.
Well, give him a 5-year contract at $12 million, and that's $60 million over 5 years. You know, that may not be a bad idea if you got Trevor Lawrence as your quarterback.
Well,
because that's obviously what they're gunning for.
Well, I guess, but I'd say this: if I was Jacksonville, I know Dabo is a college coach. We don't know if he can make the transition or not. We don't never know if any coach can make that transition. But coming in with your quarterback, I think it's a good idea. Me personally, I've seen Urban Meyer's track record when it comes to his health, not his football mind, not any of that foolishness, but his health. Mm-hmm. He left he left Florida because of his health. He left Ohio State because of his health.
Folks listening to the podcast, I will give you the quotations that
air quotes.
Said.
Yes, air quotes. You know what I mean? Air quotes.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? But you left OSU for, health issues. Mm-hmm. So me as an owner, and you're asking for $12 million, I think he's asking for that price because he knows that they're not going to give it to him. So he doesn't have to say no because of my health issues. Like in Austin Powers, laser.
Laser. And I get you. I wholeheartally agree with you. I don't think, honestly, if it's really your health, any amount of money is going to matter. But let's not bullshit people. Let's give them a yes or no answer. Are you wanting to coach again? Yes or no? Because as an owner, that's going to be my first question. Are you really wanting to coach again? Yes or no? Because we can stop this interview right now. If you tell me no, then I don't want you wasting my time.
We'd have probably got to that on the phone before you even got at my desk.
True.
You know what I mean? Because I know what you do. I know what your past is. Utah was the longest place he was anywhere, right?
Yes.
Okay.
That was before his health.
Granted, you won a national championship in both Florida and OSU. Okay, I get it. But
air quotes.
Laser.
Moving on. Because nobody really knows what's going to happen in Jacksonville. We'll all have to see. Because there's not really been a lot of talk coming out of Jacksonville as far as who they're looking at. Who are they really looking at? So we'll just have to see. Denver, John Elway did something just yesterday, I believe. John Elway stepped down from the general manager's position. He's going to take another.
Step up or step down?
He stepped down.
I know he's not, but didn't he go to another elevated position?
Well, he's stepping away from the general manager's responsibilities. He still obviously has a major role in it, but that might help him. That may help the whole organization there because there is a lot of pressure coming from a 2-time Super Bowl champ quarterback with the same team. Now he's a GM. There probably is a lot of pressure on both him and everybody else in the organization. If I was him, I wouldn't want the GM spot. Give me something else that I can be just as, or if not more, adverse in the position to help the organization in the long run.
Me, if I was in any one of those type of guys, position, Elway, whatever, any of those guys, John Lynch, any of those guys, I'm not doing any of that crap. If I'm not sitting on somebody's television set, I don't want nothing to do with it.
There you go. There
Man,
you go.
Because of people like us and the other people that sit on the television set will be the main reason why I would not do that.
Fair enough. Fair enough. They've asked permission to interview Dave Ziegler, the Patriots assistant director. Haven't heard anything. He started his NFL career with the Broncos and was a college teammate of Casario's and Patriots offensive coordinator Josh McDaniels. So we'll see how that goes. They obviously need to do something at quarterback on that offense because their defense isn't too bad. Their offense is struggling like hell. Now let's talk about another team that's struggled like hell all year because they've blown a lot more leads off of leading the game than I've ever witnessed in my life, I think. And that's being the Atlanta Falcons. Dan Quinn, out he went. Obviously that happened a while ago. They've interviewed Brad Holmes, the Los Angeles Rams director of college scouting, to be their GM yesterday on Tuesday. They interviewed Colts director of college scouting, Morocco Brown, for their GM spot as well. They obviously have a bunch of stuff. I seen Matt Schaub actually hung the helmet up yesterday and said he's done with football. He had a up and down career, I should say, more so down than up. But what's going to happen with Matty Ice? Where's that offense? Something is missing in Atlanta, obviously, to blow 30-point leads consistently.
Hey, what's Matty Ice's contract situation like?
I don't know yet. Do you?
I do not. The reason
I was hoping that was a rhetoric question.
Yeah, the reason why I asked that is because I know one scheme that I think he will fit well in is now in search of a starting quarterback.
With that being
the Patriots.
Because they did say no go on Cam Newton for next season.
Just a little bit of, one perspective out there.
Well, I'm going to throw Carson Wentz's name in that scheme for the Patriots as well because they've been known to take people and to change their perspective on things. Hey.
Yeah, receivers and linemen.
Well, they tried with Cam and obviously didn't
fail.
Yeah.
And I don't think Bill is going to go for the big overrated redhead.
Never know.
I like Danny Dalton in that situation too. So yeah. Well,
we'll see.
Yes, but we're talking about the Smalkins. They're going to suck, and they're going to continue to suck.
I was very surprised in Miami's Chan Gailey resigned as offensive coordinator. Miami was tough. Miami has a good thing going down there. So I don't know what the reasoning was behind it. It wasn't he was fired. He was resigned. He had resigned. So I'm not too sure if it's one of those air quote health issues or, is there something else going on there that we don't know? Who knows? Carolina.
Yes, I think there are air quotes there, sir,
yes.
But it's not health issues.
Okay. So there's air quotes.
He resigned.
Which means something happened and he wants to get out of there quick.
So basically it was, we don't want to fire you.
So we're
going to allow you to resign. Basically what happened was they wrote his resignation letter and slid it across the table and said, here, you need to sign this. And there we go.
All right. Well, there you have it. In the Damon mind of life.
Really,
it's very possibly true.
Who just resigns from an offensive coordinator? Who just, you know what? You do that when you have a better job lined up. You don't just, or health issues. You don't just, you know what? I quit.
No, not at 10 and 6. Something obviously happened there. So who knows? We don't know. I don't know. You may know.
I know.
You knows.
I know what happened.
What?
He touched her booty.
What? That's very possible. In Miami, I'm sure there's a lot of booties that people would like to touch, but I'm not going to touch them. Just going to watch. We'll get my popcorn and watch. Go into Miami.
pom-poms.
Right? Every time we mention Miami, the thought of us being there is just like
Pom-poms. Pom-poms.
Now, there's a lot of more stuff to get into as far as the movements and resignations or firings among the NFL coaches. We're kind of limited on time right now, so we will post some things out on the Facebook page tonight, tomorrow, and as the week progresses into the weekend, as we possibly get more hires. I think most of the firings are done, but who knows? We'll have to see what that goes. I will say one thing. Zach Taylor, Cincinnati Bengals, keeping him as their head coach. Good job.
Wouldn't see any other reason why not to, but
hey, we've seen weirder things in this world.
Hey, well, one thing we know about Cincinnati, they're consistent in keeping in coaches longer than they should, but not saying that they're keeping him longer than he should. This was his second year, third year, brand new quarterback. Hey, you guys are good. I wouldn't even trip. Yep. But before you cut out on us on the football news, let's give a little bit of Lamar Jackson news.
Okay.
I read a stat, something that was very interesting. In his career.
Now you're intriguing me.
Yeah, in his career, he has 46 red zone touchdowns, 0 interceptions.
You know, folks, I don't care who you are. I don't care what you think about Lamar Jackson. But to have that type of stat in the red zone, I would want that as my quarterback stat. Period. Drop the mic. Done deal. Don't get rid of him. Don't do anything stupid with Lamar Jackson if you're Baltimore. But who knows?
I mean, and you know that all of those aren't rushing touchdowns. All those are, or he'd have a record.
Exactly. I mean, by now, yes, if 40-some touchdowns were in the red zone, were rushing. Oh yeah, they would never be touched by another quarterback for years to come.
Yeah. So just to let you know, he is efficient in the red zone. So just put that out there for making your numbers and talking and following my man right here at Rafael Esparza on Bet Your Ass. Make sure you mention that when you're making your numbers.
There you go. I like it. It. Now, real quick before we go into the picks, the Doc Sports picks of the week, I want to throw something at you. I know Damon's not worried about this because his team's playing this team. The Browns are out of a head coach and 17 other players, coaches, staffs because of COVID. We knew it would hit sometime in the season, and man, is it picking the absolute worst time to hit Cleveland right now. Not only Cleveland, Tennessee has also been starting to get hit by the COVID, yet their facility has still remained open. They're doing, what do they call it? Contact tracing and all this. So we'll keep your eyes out on that. We'll post stuff as it comes. Check the Twitter page tonight. We'll be doing a lot of things.
Hey, real quick on that. Cleveland has been dealing with this the last 3 or 4 weeks, right?
2 weeks.
And Tennessee, well, this would be the third week, wouldn't it? Because they had no receiving core the week before.
Yes.
Correct. All right. So this would be their third straight week dealing with this, right? And Tennessee has been dealing with this the whole year.
Yep. They were the reason that certain games, such as the Steelers game, got rescheduled to a Tuesday and then a Monday, then a Tuesday, then a Wednesday.
Shifted our bye week, which would have really helped us in the middle of that 3-game loser streak, where would have been the bye week. Thank you, Tennessee. So, but they got a 2,000-yard rusher, so.
Yes, they do. Derrick Henry is a beast. He is a beast. And that is a great segue into the Doc Sports picks of the week. But right before, we need to give a little station identification to the one and only Rockstar Realty. What is up, everybody? It's your boy Dan over at BWSPORTS1.com and Black and White Sports. And I'm wondering if you're ready to buy or sell that home, now's the time, and I got just the person for you. Mr. Shawn Nugent, a.k.a. Rockstar Realtor himself. 317-503-8322. Put that home on the market. Get into your dream home with this man. Talk to Shawn at Talk to Tucker today, 317-503-8322. And make sure you tell him the boys over at BWSPORTS1.com sent you. Yes, if I ever buy or sell a home again, I know where I'm going. But I don't want to do that moving again right now. I'm kind of content right now of not doing the boxing of everything again.
Hey, bro, even if I won the lottery, I'm not real sure I'm leaving my home, man. I got the perfect spot, man. I got a lot of room to build on if I wanted to, so I'm good. But if I'm going to send somebody to get a new home or to sell their home to get a new home, you can go to that guy. You can do both of them at the same place. Here,
Yes,
sell
you
this
can.
one and then buy that one.
There you go. I like it.
I'm good at that. All right, so Doc Sports picks of the week.
That's right.
And
Text BW Sports to 29022 for your free $60, no obligation, no credit card needed, $60 account with Doc Sports Picks, right where Rafael Esparza comes from.
are we going past S&Ds and going right to the picks, or are we doing S&Ds?
I mean, yeah, let's do the S&Ds. I thought it was – I'll get these right one day.
Yeah, because the Doc Sports picks of the week are two different things from S&Ds. S&Ds is not what you think it is. It is surprises and disappointments.
That's right. That's
So-
right. And boy, did we have some doozies this past week.
All right, so let's jump into our surprises, players, and teams. Mr. I don't know why we still have ass on here because you're not the ass anymore.
Because we copy and paste these parts of the notes. Let's be honest.
We
That's
do.
a lot
we
of
do.
typing every
We do.
week. We copy and paste, and neither one of us has figured out to delete and add.
No, have no idea. I thought we could save templates on here, but I haven't figured out. I did on State of Basketball, figured out how I can save templates.
There you
That
go.
way I don't have to create, we can just, it's good. I've learned it.
We'll figure that out.
Yeah, hey, y'all don't understand. This is a big accomplishment for me to learn anything computery.
Believe me, Shawn and myself are happy for you. And he's getting better, folks. I'm not going to lie. The guy is getting 10 times better than 10 years ago when I met him, or 14 years ago when I met you.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah.
Then I knew how to send an email on AOL. That was my email address. AOL.
On dial-up. Oh, boy. Yep.
Just so I
Anyway,
couldn't pay
surprising
my
players, Damon.
Yes.
Start us off.
This might throw a loop for you, but I'm going to go with Mason Rudolph as my surprise player. Now, I know they did lose the game to Cleveland in week 17 last week, but I went with Mason because he is actually auditioning for Pittsburgh to draft another quarterback or not. You know what I mean? So I did see some things that I did like from the growth over last season when he was forced to play to this season or to that game. I saw a couple deep ball precision passes that looked really good, and I saw him starting to get better at reading and throwing away balls. So I did like what he did, 22 for 39, 315 yards, 2 touchdowns. So I like Mason Rudolph.
Nice. I'm going to go with Isaiah McKenzie. 2 receiving touchdowns and an 84-yard punt return for the Bills. Wow. All I'm going to say, I love Indy. I have no problem personally with the Colts unless they're playing Philly. But you guys are playing, and I'm saying this right now, you guys are playing the most complete team in the NFL right now on Saturday. You're kicking off playoff weekend, wild card weekend, against the best complete team in the NFL. Good luck.
I like how you I don't know if anybody caught that, but I like how you put that. The most complete team in the NFL right now.
Right now.
I would say they're the hottest team in the NFL. I would go there, which will make them the most complete team right now.
Yes.
So, but yeah, that's a beast that the Colts, I think, are up for the challenge, but will they complete it? I'm not sure.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah, talk about that later. Yeah, so I'm good. Buffalo's good.
Yeah. Surprising team for myself, Damon, is honestly the Ravens. And yes, granted, they played Cincinnati, but I really thought that the Ravens were on a downward spiral type deal. I thought that Cincinnati could potentially pull the win out. And I thought that Baltimore would get bumped out of the playoffs and Miami would be in the playoffs instead of Baltimore. Now, granted, it wouldn't be the same seeds, but that's how I thought going in. But the Ravens surprised me, man. They came out and they didn't let off. They kept from start to finish. They rolled.
Hey, didn't the Ravens win out?
3 games, 4 games,
3 or 4 games.
Yes. Now the past couple weeks, I think prior to this past week, I think was a little choppy. And that's what kind of led me to thinking, well, maybe they're not going. No, they didn't win out because they lost. They lost the week before to.
I kind of thought their last loss was to Steelers,
which was week what? 14?
14 or 13, one of the two.
You're gonna make me look at that up. So you talk about your team. I'm going to look that up.
All right. That's it. I went with the Giants as my surprise team.
You're correct, sir. That was quick. I didn't mean to cut you off, but you're
that's
correct.
Right. That's
4.
Right.
Since the Steelers lost by 5 points, they beat the Cowboys, the Browns, which was a close game, the Jaguars, the Giants, and then killed the Bengals. So, yeah, 5 games.
And Lamar's thrown, 10 touchdowns in those 5 games?
And 1 interception, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off, sir. I just had to answer. I had to clarify that for myself.
Hey, whoever playing Baltimore better be worried too.
Yeah. Have to agree.
You're just saying, man, the guy is electrified, you know what I mean? But anyway, yeah, I went with the Giants. Because of what this was more of a year surprise team than I would say on the last game, because I fully expected them to beat the Cowboys. Expected them to beat the Cowboys. I'll talk about that trash ass team later. But the Giants, what they had to go through, losing Saquon Barkley immediately, having Jones go down but came back. There was just always something going on negative, but yet they still came to play every week and, put everything out there and won some games and had an opportunity to win the division. So, yeah, my biggest surprise is the Giants.
I can agree with that. I can definitely agree with that, but I'm never going to no, I'm not. I can't say never. Can't say never. I'll give due diligence when it's necessary. Moving on to disappointing players and teams. Damon, who are you getting for your disappointing player of the week?
I am going Chase Young. And this is not because I'm picking on another
Case or Chase?
Case, whatever his name is. I am going to, not because I want to pick on another low-level entry person of the University of Ohio State. It's because of you need to learn how to win graciously. Mm. You know what I mean? Win graciously. Win with your head up. Win like you've done this before. Like you came from the University of Ohio State. You guys won a lot of games. I think your whole career you lost, 4 games? So act like you've done this before. But then you have the audacity to call out the GOAT. Come on, bruh. Hey, man.
Yeah.
This is the GOAT. You know what I'm saying? This is the GOAT that's finding his team. This is the GOAT where we all thought that they were going to be in this situation going into the NFC as a wild card, but the scariest team that no one's talking about in the NFC because now he's figured out his team.
Mm-hmm.
And Chase Young, you want to call out the GOAT? Go blue. That's all right. He'll get the revenge that we're looking for.
There you go.
It always goes back to Michigan.
It does. It's unfortunate, guys. Sorry. I'm going to go with Tua Tagovailoa. Damn it. I still can't. I'm going to go with Tua.
If you'd have combined the first one and the second one, then you'd have got it.
Tua Tagovailoa. There we go. 3 interceptions, man. What are you doing? You have a shot at going to the playoffs your first season. And yes, you are a rookie. But man, you've been here before, like you, Damon, like you said, you've won before. You've played this level before. You're from Alabama. You know this. You got this. You got the expectations of taking your team to the playoffs for the first time in a long while, and you single-handedly let it down. There.
I don't know about single-handedly because
no, it's not single-handedly. It's not. That was a little far-fetched.
Me personally, I think everything Tua done this year was an upside because really, did we really expect him to really get on the field? I didn't.
No.
Especially the way Fitzpatrick was playing early in the year. I didn't expect him to get on the field. So I think that Miami brought this upon themselves not to be in the playoffs when you should have had a better person. But then when you needed him, the COVID took him away. So you didn't want him when you had him, but then when you needed him, you couldn't get him. So Tua did exactly what I expected him to do coming in. Yeah, he's been there before. Yeah, he's played in big games before. But I guarantee you his offensive staff, not staff, but his offensive teammates in Alabama were better than his offensive teammates in Miami.
For this year, maybe. Now we'll see how they grow. But I still think throwing 3 interceptions, you obviously didn't help the team out.
No, of course not.
So, and
regardless if those 2 of those interceptions were dropped by the receiver, but I hate that stat. I hate it.
I do too. But still, man, he had like 3 games leading up to this that was on point. Even maybe throwing an interception here or there, but still was on point. This just didn't seem like he was there. So, I don't know what caused that. But again, going to my disappointing team is the Dolphins. It's like, man, you had the shot, you had the opportunity, and you plopped.
I agree. Maybe they should do that Polynesian war dance.
Is that it? I don't know. Oh, that one. I gotcha. I'm with you.
Oh.
Push your ball. Ha, ha.
Yes.
That one.
That one. Yes.
I gotcha. No offense to anybody out there that's Polynesian and I don't know the dance.
Oh, it's a huge offense. I'm not going to leave you guys out. I have to be equal opportunist to every race possible. So I'm not going to leave you out. That way you can't say I'm racist.
It's true. This is very true. He hates everybody, folks.
Hate all of you.
Who you got, Damon, as your disappointment team?
I got a tie because I think both of them just really stunk it up. The Cowboys and the Cardinals.
Yep.
The Cowboys because freaking Cowboys and Jerry Jones. So what do you expect to happen? You still had the opportunity to make the playoffs, and you terrible.
And now, I think the Cowboys were eliminated regardless.
They were still out? Yeah. But still play for something.
Yeah, like to
play for that.
Not to give the team that you're playing the opportunity to go to the playoffs.
Play for that star, buddy. Play for the star. You don't want nobody to spike the football, the star. Yeah. Play for the star.
Yeah, that 1-star rating.
They're terrible. And the Cardinals. I had such high hopes for the Cardinals this season. And y'all still had an opportunity, and you just came out there and stunk up the joint. Kingsbury, you need to work on your play calling. You need to get better. results out of your receiving core, and you got to put Kyler Murray in better situations to succeed. And you did not do it the last 6 games of the season. That's why you're going home.
I agree. All right. Now we can move to the Doc's Sports Picks of the Week. I gotta record Sean's Picks of the Week saying and just put it right here. Doc Sports, that's right. Text BW Sports to 29022 for your $60 free account. No obligation, no credit card needed.
Yes.
So let's skip over last week's games.
Let's skip.
Because we've kind of talked about it. Let's go to the playoffs.
Okay.
Saturday game, first game, Colts at Bills. Bills are 6.5-point favorites at home. Damon, who you picking?
Let me go way down here. I'm going. You know what? I'm gonna go. Sorry, Colts. I can't do it. I gotta go Bills. I was trying to find a way.
Yeah.
I was trying to find a way to go with them. You know what I mean? I'm gonna cheer for the home team, but if I had to bet my ass, going with the Bills.
I would too. I'm sticking with the Bills too. And I'll tell you why. Main reason, Colts have a hell of a defense against the run. The front seven's good. They're stout. And past that is the problem. And you're playing a team that is very pass heavy with Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs all day long. 3 touchdowns over the top. Bills win. They cover the spread. Next game on the docket, we have the Rams at the Seahawks division, our first division game in the playoffs. Seahawks have a home advantage of 4.5 points. Damon, who are you picking?
I'm going to Seahawks because the Seahawks have been there. They know how to do it. And they seem to always have a way of dominating this division. So I'm going with the Seahawks.
I'm going to agree with you. I think the Seahawks defense is still sketchy. Rams obviously have Donald on the defensive line. Problem right now is we don't know who the starting quarterback for the Rams will be. Technically, it's not been made official, and they're not going to make it official yet. So I'm going to say the Seahawks, and I say they cover the spread at 4.5. Now, these were Tuesday's lines. So if they've changed, let us know in the comments. And I'm still taking the Seahawks to win. Third game, Saturday night game, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers head to the nation's capital, and play the Washington football team. The Bucs, the away team, is 7.5-point favorites. Damon.
Tom Brady, all great Michigan quarterback that he is, even though he didn't start the national championship game. That would have been Brian Greasy. But that's beside the point. This is all my yes. This is all my ramblings. My Bill Walton style ramblings have come in a full circle to the University of Michigan. So Tom Brady is going to look out at the roster of the Washington football team, and he's going to see 2 individual names that have schools that have Buckeyes next to him. And one of them is going to be on the defensive side of the ball. And he is going to remember all of the whoopings that his alma mater have taken over the past 4 years that included both of these individuals. And he is going to light that ass up. They covered the spread and double it.
Ooh. I'm going to disagree with you on this. If I'm taking the spread, I am going to take the Washington football team. If I'm taking money line, taking straight up, I'll agree with you. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers will advance into the divisional round. But you mentioned one of those 2 names. Well, you didn't mention the name, but you mentioned the 2 players from Ohio State, and one in particular, Mr. Terry McLaurin.
Go Irish.
Terry McLaurin is a stout beast at receiver. If they were smart, they may utilize him in the return game as well. And that may be the deciding factor on beating the spread, folks. I'm just saying it now. I'm betting my ass. There we go.
I like it. I like it a lot. But you got a very small mobile patchwork smart $16 million man and Alex Smith, and a very educated, dirty Adonican Sue.
We'll see what happens there. We will see what happens there.
That should be a prop bet.
I like that. I'm going to get with Raphael right now and say, does Naganagan Sue get kicked out of the game or not? Yes or no? I want to hear about those odds. I'm going to text him when we're done here. Moving to Sunday, the AFC kicks off with the Ravens at Titans. And the Ravens are 3.5-point favorites in Tennessee. Damon.
I like it, man. Like we talked a little bit ago, the Ravens are on a 4-game winning streak. A couple of those 5-game winning streak. And they've been improving offensively every single week. Lamar has been improving this passing game, which makes his legs much more difficult. But the thing that we're overlooking is the fact that Baltimore Ravens do play defense. My question is with this is, yes, Tennessee has Derrick Henry. Yes, he can do all of those things. I get it. He's a fourth quarter juggernaut. I get it. But you have to be in the game to use him in the fourth quarter. Baltimore has the offensive capability of putting up points. Can Tennessee match those points? That's my question. I'm going with Baltimore. Even though Henry does have 120 yards on the ground.
Do they cover the 3.5 points?
Man, that's a field goal. No, because I think they win by a field goal.
There you go. There you go. I agree with you. They're on a 5-game win streak. Ravens are pretty hot right now, but not so fast. I think Tennessee's got a better defense than Baltimore does. I think Tennessee keeps Lamar Jackson off the field as much as possible by utilizing Derrick Henry's feet. And I think Tennessee advances to the divisional round. Next on the docket, the second game of the day goes to the NFC. The Bears. How the hell they made it, we don't know. The Bears are traveling.
Because the NFC East sucks ass.
Yeah. Keep reminding me. The Bears travel south to the dirty south of New Orleans and take on the Saints. Saints started at 9.5. It's bumped up to 10-point favorites. Damon, who you got?
Saints.
That was easy. And I really think that they do cover that 10-point spread.
Easily.
I don't know if I would take any more than 10. That would probably be the cusp on taking the spread, my opinion. If it goes lower, by all means, take it, but I don't see it going any lower. If it goes higher, I'd probably stay away from taking the spread bet. But money line, Saints all day.
And it's in the Big Easy.
And it's the Super
and
Bowl.
Mardi Gras is getting ready to jump off.
Yes, it is. That's the week of the Super Bowl, I think.
Yeah, it's a wrap. Well, they getting ready. They getting ready. You know, let it bounce.
All right, Damon. Sunday night football. Division rival.
Game 3.
Meets in the playoffs. First wild card round. The Cleveland Browns at the Pittsburgh Steelers. The line from yesterday to today has bumped 2.5 points up. It started at 3.5 points. The Steelers are now 6-point favorites. Granted, we just talked about all the COVID deals going on in Cleveland. Damon, should I even have to ask?
Well, no, you shouldn't have to ask, but as a analyst.
Oh man, hold on, Jasmine's. I'll be right back.
Okay, go do it. He's got to get the baby girl. But as an analyst, air quotation marks, I would have to go with the Steelers on this a little more favorably than I normally would have. You know, it would have been a good game because of the last game of how they played and the upswing that the Cleveland Browns are on right now. But with all of the health issues, he's back. He's back, folks. All right, so I'll recap.
Sorry about that.
I'll recap. I didn't really get into much.
Good. It was like me taking a pee break.
Yeah, I'll recap. Like I said, I think the Steelers are going to win. I was going to go with them, obviously. Before all these latest news issues, health issues, I probably would have said that this game would have been right around a field goal difference, either or. Obviously, I'm going with the Steelers, but the upside of the Browns was looking very good. Baker is settling in, even though I enjoy his commercials. Getting receivers back. You know, you got your two-headed running back monster, but now what you have 17 players out, head coach out, a couple coordinators out. That's a tall task to ask for anybody. I still think it's going to be a AFC North bruising type of game, but I like the Steelers to cover that 6.
I know that it's going to be difficult to train this week for them, being there's so many staff out. I started the year by saying the Steelers were going to win go to the Super Bowl. I don't think they cover the spread at 6. If you would have taken the bet yesterday at 3.5, may have taken that one. Not going to take 6 points, but I will say that the Pittsburgh Steelers will move and advance into the divisional round of the playoffs. I'm just pretty skeptical on that 6-point jump. I definitely would not look at anything above 6 points.
Oh, no.
But, yeah, it's going to be a good game. Like
I think
said, round 3.
Yeah, round 3. So, I mean, they know each other well. I mean, the same way when it comes to the
Rams and the Seahawks.
Right. The Rams and Seahawks, the same situation. You know, this is game 3 for them too. You know what I mean? So I think it'll be an excellent game, but I think the Steelers take it 3-0.
I agree.
Yeah.
What do you mean 3-0? They lost last week.
3-0. They did lose last week.
Yeah,
Mason.
Now, granted, you didn't have Big Ben in, but still.
Or Watt, the defensive player of the year, baby.
You did. But there you have it, folks. There are the Doc Sports picks of the week. Now let's run down a little news schedule that we got going on real quick. We're going to kick off the week on Sundays at 11 o'clock over at Checkers and Wreckers. That's right. Big Tom Racker, a.k.a. Tommy Boy, taking everything on the track that goes fast, shifts hard, and keeps that rubber on the road or slings that dirt on Sundays at 11.
Why do y'all keep adding stuff for me to learn?
What?
Now you got adding slinging dirt. I mean, it took me a year and a half to get the other 3 parts.
You threw me off. I'm like, oh, shit, what did I put in there?
Just add more stuff. God.
You just stick to what you know. Just stick to what you know. I'll just throw that in there every once in a while. That is at 11 o'clock on Sundays. Bet Your Ass with Rafael Esparza coming to you Monday nights at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. It's great if you like putting your money where your mouth is. We put the bets on. Thursdays, starting tomorrow night in 24 hours. That's right, folks. Quantum Inspiration with Monica P. 7:30 Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. That's Thursday, tomorrow night. And I can't wait to get positive and get in my quantum inspirations. Saturdays, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Super kicking it with Steven. Talking all about that squared circle. What's going on? WWE, AEW, and of course, the AWF. You like that? No? Yes? No?
It was not worthy of a response for someone so dignified as the Lord.
There he is. I like it. Coming very, very soon, within the next week. No set date, but it will be announced very shortly, hopefully by this weekend. Combat Zone. Everything combat sports affiliated, from MMA to boxing to bare knuckle. Your boy DeLion is bringing you the Combat Zone, and I can't wait.
I think every time you say combat zone, you need to have some type of fight. Yes, some type of fight sound. Like comeback zone.
I like it, man. I like it. Then, of course, you find me, myself, DeLion, and this guy right here, the one. I'm sorry, the one. I can't say the one. I'm saying the one and DeLion. That's right. Black and White Sports Live every Wednesday night, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. Stay involved with us because we got more coming around the wind. Now, obviously, the regular season is over for football. The Dynasty Bros are still going strong. The exclusive show is done. It's only during the regular season and fantasy football, since fantasy football is done and over with. Catch them, follow them, Dynasty Bros FF. They will be back for season 2 this coming football season, so we can't wait to have them.
Hey, man, what are we going to do in the off season for football?
Dude, whoa.
You know what I mean? I'm feeling the pressure. The walls are closing in on me.
That's because the Lion King is bringing the heat. That was good. If you haven't seen it, folks, we all three of us two right here, and Tom Racker, aka Tommy Boy, did some what do they call it? Promo videos, wrestling promo videos. If you haven't seen them, you need to go watch them, because Super Kicking It with Steven put it together, and it's awesome. The AWF will be revamping. See, we're doing a lot of revamping and reconstructing around here in 2021. We might get the wrestling ring in the backyard of the Lion's Den. And Lord Darkington will be sitting around with his Hennessy or his Woodford or whatever around the outside of the ring, like a manager type, with Monica P out there kind of looking like the Miss Elizabeth. And me and Checkers the Clown and Peter Jacob, or was it Peter Jacob Peter, something like that. Joseph Peter Joseph II. All these guys, we might throw it down, folks.
Hey, I'm not even managing, dude. I'm going all Booker T style. King, Carly Race. I am commentating. I'm back here in the back, like where y'all can't even involve me in the ring. Like y'all ain't even going to hit me with a fake chair or nothing. I am nowhere to be seen.
All right. Well,
me and Michael Cole.
There you go. Damon, before we leave the wonderful world, do you have anything from the One Thought this week?
Well, since this is our second show after the New Year, so I don't. Hey, only thing I got to say to you is this is the first show after the New Year?
First Wednesday night show.
Yes, you're absolutely right. So, here is my first One Thought of the year. Hey, man, don't give up no bullshit ass resolutions. Do what you really gonna do. Sit on the back couch, pop a beer, put some meat on the grill, and enjoy life. That's what I'm gonna do.
It's straight out the Lion's Den. I second that. Folks, we appreciate you following, listening to us every week. As always, we love your support. If you know anybody that likes to have some video or audio editing, some voiceover, some broadcasting live and online, hit us up, info.bwsports1@gmail.com, or any of our social media pages. It'll get back to us three. We'll look forward to seeing you. We look forward to working with you. And Damon, as always, what do we do?
Well, the person in row 12, seat 11, please come to the front of the stadium. We have a prize for you. It is pew, 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 pew. We keep Indy sporty, baby.
Bam! Peace.